Good evening. It's 7 o'clock. We'll call the meeting to order. Bailey, would you call the roll, please?
Commissioner Black.
Here.
Commissioner Miller.
Here.
Commissioner Langness.
Present.
Commissioner Gerard.
Here.
Commissioner Lee. Commissioner Batty.
Here.
Commissioner Keen.
Here. May I ask if you're able to please stand and join us for the Pledge of Allegiance? Chair is looking for a motion to approve the agenda as presented. So moved.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. Chair is looking for excuse me, approved Planning Commission meeting minutes from the November 28th.
It would be 14th, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, I thought they looked at. November 14th, 2018 meeting.
Mr. Chairman, I got a couple comments. On page, hang on. I think it was page 4. One of the motions to approve one of the variances, I thought I voted for that motion and got me down as a response. But I'm not sure why.
I can rewatch the tape and double check.
Okay. Maybe I was sleeping, I don't know, but I was for it. The other comment I've got on page 5, there was some direction to staff to check into the easements currently exit for the property and surrounding. I just thought there probably ought to be a little bit better clarification on that, because we talked about cross driveway easements, and we call those check on cross driveway easements. I think that's just a little more clarity on what we were talking about at the time.
Okay.
With those two corrections, I'd make a motion to approve.
Do I have a second?
Second that.
Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. Item number 6 is a variant application for 21183 Everton Avenue, tabled from our 11/14 meeting. The applicant requests that the application be tabled to the 12/12 meeting. The Planning Commission needs to make a formal motion to table this. So the chair is looking for a motion to table.
I have a question. Donovan, where are we at on the 60-day, effective 120-day rule with that application?
Sure. The application was submitted a complete application was submitted on October 17th. 60 days out is December 14th. And the applicant has a 60-day letter, so the 120-day rule is in effect, and that's February 14th is the day in which the Planning Commission, or a decision has to be made by the city.
All right, thank you. I'll move to table.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next is a conditional use permit amendment application for 19850 Fenway Avenue, tabled from our 11/14 meeting. This is a public hearing to consider the application. This will work like all of our public hearings. We will hear from the city, their understanding of the application. Planning Commission will then ask any questions. After that's over, we will ask the applicant if they would like to say a few words, add anything to the application. And after that, we will hold a public hearing, and I'll give further direction there, and then it'll come back to the Planning Commission for a decision. Dennis, I assume you're stepping down?
Yep.
Donovan, you're presenting?
Yes, sir. Chair, members of the Planning Commission, Bailey, can I get video, please? I'd like to present a CUP amendment, conditional use amendment, permit amendment for the Lakes International Language Academy, LILA, which is proposing to do something of a change from their July 2018 CUP application. On your screen there, you can see the general location of this on Fenway and Headwaters Parkway. The, the July, go to the July CUP amendment did produce a, sorry, did produce a, was approved for a theater space, gym space, and the, sorry, my Adobe crashed. The, it was a 47,000 square foot expansion for that, the gym, theater space, and common area, and locker rooms. The, this was, in addition to the February CUP amendment. And the February amendment was the 2-story, 8-classroom addition on the west side of the building. This was the subject of the July CUP amendment. And what's proposed now is to remove that 8 classroom addition. And now, as shown here, it's no longer there. And they're essentially adding more classrooms on the second floor and reconfiguring space in order to produce an only 823 square foot expansion in the building footprint. No increase in enrollment, capacity, staff count, or number of classrooms is requested with this application. And there's no change to the parking area or the vehicle circulation pattern. The staff administration did hold the neighborhood meeting and received an inquiry regarding the setback from the I believe was it from the 202nd Street lots, and essentially it's they're reducing the building footprint, and therefore this is triggers a CUP amendment application. At this point, I'd like to take any questions from the Planning Commission.
Commissioners, any questions? We don't have any, I guess. Outstanding presentation, Donovan. Would the applicant like to add anything?
Hi, Cam Hedlund, Executive Director at Lakes International. And there's several factors that came together that suggested we had perhaps a more efficient and better plan. The other 8 classrooms was to be completed during last summer. The financing, however, was the 2 together. First the 8 classrooms, and then the second piece would be part of the initial financing, but done a year later, or where we are right now. And that financing never was consummated. We were looking for some alternative financing that would get us away from bonds in general and will allow us to add small pieces as we needed them and to borrow money. And we just couldn't find the right lender that understood lease aid from the state of Minnesota. We were looking at different places. And so we were not able to get that done this last year. We had to rent portables. That's why we have portables, because we did not have the money to build those 8 classrooms. So we have 6 portables sitting out there that you graciously let us have while we complete the main project now. And so what we did by taking that away is, one, we pleased, I'm sure, those neighbors there on Farnham that were worried about people looking into their bedroom windows. That was the addition that they really didn't want. And that's not the main reason we took it away, but I think that maybe has helped the neighbors feel better. And we also took into account then if we could do away with that. We made a few changes to the main building, as they said, added a few square feet. And we're doing some remodeling in the current building to take some open spaces, because the new building has some very nice big open spaces. So we have open spaces in the old section that are converting into classrooms and other pieces, which then eliminate. So it's just more compact, more efficient use of the overall space where we can do without those 8 classrooms, we believe, at this point. It also then allowed us to have some extra money from those 8 classrooms that we can, and we've got a petition before you that also has had an open meeting the other night, at the main campus to just give us more facilities. It doesn't increase the K-5 population at all. It increases the preschool population just a little bit. That application, which I won't really talk about here, it gave us money that we could do that at the same time, because with the bonds, this really, it should be the last time you'd see us for quite a while, because the refinancing of the bonds takes very long segments in between, and we're basically mortgaging, as they say, your heart for the next few years to get these bonds. But we think it's the right project at both places that really let us be where we need to be with each of them for a long time to come. And so we're feeling good about it, and it's a smaller footprint, more efficient, saves us some overall dollars in the construction. The financing's a little more expensive. And worse than the expensive is that it really makes it hard to borrow money in the near future, in that they have steep penalties if you turn the bonds over and those kinds of things. So we've really put a lot of thought into this, and this is where we've ended up. And this ought to be what you see from Lakes International for quite a while in terms of classroom buildings. Questions?
Any questions, Ray?
I don't know if you could answer this or if Dennis could answer it, but the changes to the remodeling of the building, will that require the roof to be raised at any point?
No.
And it won't. So there will be no exterior changes to the building?
No, we've flopped a couple things, so where the gym is tall is now in a little different place than it was, but we've not changed the overall heights of anything. It's just rearranged them a little bit.
Wasn't clear.
Technically, I'm Dennis Batty, the architect representing Lakes International Language Academy, 22770 Imperial Avenue North, Forest Lake. I'll show you a couple quick graphics here that I think will explain this. Technically, we are raising the roof, but not in the way that you might think. Part of the building initially was a one-story building.
Hold, please.
I'll just explain a couple things briefly and then show them to you quickly. This, the whole thing?
Technical difficulty here. That might work.
We don't have an image yet. What we did was, to get this additional space, is we took the a portion of the building that was just one story and made it 2-story. So technically, we are raising the roof on just that portion of the building, which is about 1,000 square feet, or about 3,000 square feet, 3 classrooms. So that space is added to the second level here.
Do another one.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go right ahead.
New building, we're just, working the kinks out.
Mark's on the floor.
Go ahead, Dennis, they gave the thumbs up.
All right, not to lengthen this thing out, but I'll just show you. The pink here is the part of, is where we're adding footprint to the main level. This, of course, here is just being completely eliminated. This is the second floor plan, and this is where we're essentially raising the roof.
Okay.
And adding square footage to the building.
Now, will that show on the
Where's
exterior?
the front of the building?
The front of the building, This is, essentially, that's what this is right here. This
Where was
is-
that new addition going to be on there?
Well, this is, it's just an entrance. We had an entrance as part, we had an entrance as part of this module, which, what we did, we just flipped the.
Oh, I see the parking lot on the right, so,
We flipped the gymnasium in this module right here, but we couldn't move the entrance, office. We have to have a.
okay, I was seeing, I was trying to find where this was comparison to the part you're omitting. Okay, now I know exactly where it is.
So, we have the AV now.
It's just not on the monitors, but it's on the tape.
Does that,
It's on the tape.
Yeah.
Okay.
so is it,
I'm good.
does that explain it?
Yep.
Basically what we're doing? Okay.
Other questions of the applicant?
Well, this isn't for the applicant, but it's on page 3. I was just curious as to why this was in there, where it says proposed addition, project description, right above that, this 2 paragraphs above that. There's a separate CUP in place for the lower school and annex at the main campus. The request proposed change in enrollment in Headwaters campus will not affect or change those items already covered by the main campus CUP. What does that have to do with this request out there? I just thought it was like, kind of like out of place in there, that's all. It
Well-
just seems strange.
It may seem strange, except that, you got to kind of think of what we wanted you to, we just wanted to make sure that you understood that the overall, there are limits on the overall enrollment. Part of it is for the Headwaters campus, part of it is for the main campus down on 11th. And those overall numbers aren't changing at all with this
So
application.
that was more of like an FYI
Yes,
type thing?
yes.
Okay, okay.
In our previous discussion, we talked about how the grades move and grow. And so we are adding to grades K-5, so that eventually, if we were adding there, eventually that would hit the other building. We're anticipating the same growth that we've had and showed you before, just to reemphasize what he's saying, if that makes sense.
Thank you. This is a public hearing. We ask if anyone would like to speak to this application, please come up to the lectern, state your name and address for the record. Spend a couple minutes giving us your thoughts. After we've heard from everyone, we will close the public hearing and we'll bring it back for a decision from the Planning Commission. So we'll officially open the public hearing. Does anyone wish to speak to this application? I'll ask one more time. Does anyone wish to speak to this application? Seeing no one come forward, we will close the public hearing and bring it back to the commission.
So I attended the neighborhood meeting at Leela for this, and the public discussion portion of it had quite a few people for the portion of the project we will presumably see in about January-ish. But this portion, at least from what I heard, had no comments on it. I did read in the notes that there was a conversation with one person that had some questions, but I wanted to let you guys know that there was no negative comments from any of the neighbors, at least on this portion of the project, so.
Good. Other comments, concerns? Chair's looking for a motion then.
I'll move to approve as recommended by staff.
I'll second. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. Good luck with your project.
Thank you.
We have moved to the other section of our meeting. Donovan, do you have anything for us?
Well, it being getting toward winter time, I always get a little anxious about getting quorum, and so I'm wondering, hoping that we'll have quorum for the December 12th meeting. If anyone could give indications otherwise.
Be here.
I'll be here.
Okay,
I'll be here.
appreciate it. And that's all for me.
Well, our esteemed city administrator, Patrick?
Nope, I have nothing to add, thank you.
Okay. Commissioners?
Oh, gosh, I think I've got like an hour's worth of stuff here. No, I'm just kidding.
I'll move to adjourn on that note.
I've got a question for Bailey.
I'll
I
withdraw.
can't adjourn yet.
At the last city council meeting, they approved next year's calendar. Is that on the website yet, or?
It will be on the website shortly. Usually Bolton and Mink gives us a really nice version of it. They do some artwork and stuff, so I usually just wait till they have theirs and put it on there.
That's fine.
If you want me to send it to you, I can certainly can though.
I would like to comment that the people who was in charge of the lighting of the tree this last weekend was at the Park and Rec.
Yes, Jamie.
Yeah, they did a wonderful job. So I'd like to just say they did a great job and it was a lot of fun. So I know Patrick was out there bearing the cold with me and saw a few other people, but it was a big group there. It was a lot of fun. Can I drag this on for another 20 minutes? No, just kidding.
Move to adjourn.
I'll second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Thank you very much.
Yeah, we broke the record.
That makes up for the ones, that makes up for the meetings when we're here till 11.